displacing the wild world into non-existence, right? Like I think the natural world is actually morally problematic, and I advocate for its non-existence.
So go. I'm sorry. Can you expand upon that? What does that mean? You advocate for getting rid of the natural world, and we live in a.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. The natural world is filled with death and destruction, things I find morally problematic.
So
why wouldn't I?
What would you replace that with?
Human infrastructure.
Human infrastructure, and and you're saying we would do a better job as humans.
Yeah, I would even go so far as I think the end goal should be to ditch this ball because it's a liability in and of itself.
But a lot of people might find that problematic.
It's fine. People are free to think that I have a weird position.
Just on that, Sean, like, do you see where he's coming from there? I haven't given this.
I can see his argument. I would disagree with that pretty.
Well, I don't think disagree that if you make human infrastructure over where there is usually a huge amount of suffering and death and rights violations, most likely this year.
So I guess if we're calling a rights violation a lion eating a zebra, would that fall into your definition of a rights violation?
On my definition, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Obviously, that is a.
Would you disagree?
I would disagree. But
what do you think the animal being eaten would think?
It would suck. I wouldn't like to be eaten.
Do they feel like their rights are being violated?
Yes, I think they're being murdered. They're being killed. Well, not murdered. They're being killed. Right. Yeah, the animal, it doesn't. But what about the animal that starves to death? What about the animal that needs to eat? Should we violate their rights so they don't get to eat and they die anyway? Is that any better?
For some animals, yeah, absolutely. But I also think that like animal procreation is problematic. Non-human animal procreation is problematic. I don't even advocate for most animals to exist to begin with.
Okay, interesting.
Like I was going to say this earlier, you keep on referencing things that you've heard other vegans say. I would just like ignore pretty much anything that you've ever heard from any other vegan because it's very unlikely that you've ever met another vegan like me.